Here's why it's important to know your audience when you're presenting.
We need to understand that expertise without empathy is just noise.
In this video, I'm gonna share a zero prep way to know your audience. No needs assessment required, no survey, no focus groups, no effort actually. Over the last 10 years, I've given over 1,000 presentations to groups. For the first about 10,000 people I spoke to, I used to send out a needs assessment so that I could know my audience. And the needs assessment had 2 questions. In one word or phrase, what is a work-related challenge or problem that keeps you up at night? People would type their answer to that. And then the second question, in the survey tool that I would use, the second question took their answer to question number 1 and said, what is the root underlying cause of blank? So in the beginning, they would share things, all sorts of things. I would take their responses to number 1 and turn them into a word cloud, all over the place. And then I would take the responses to number 2, question number 2, what is the root underlying cause of this problem, and turn it into a word cloud. And every single word cloud, no matter what group, no matter what industry, one word showed up largest. It was the word lack. What I got back was a lack of time, a lack of resources, a lack of accountability, a lack of communication, a lack of respect, lack, 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 lack. When you look up the root of the word lack, it has connotations around blame. Right? To blame. So lack of respect, it wasn't them disrespecting, right? It was somebody else. And so it's always somebody else's fault. Why does all this matter? So here's how to empathize with your audience and how to relate to them with no prep, no effort, and you sending out no needs assessments. Just know that every single group, the word that's showing up biggest for them as far as the root core of their challenge or problem is lack. And so if you can speak to that and relate to that, you immediately gain this empathy with people. I would take Matt Church's words a little further, and I would say that expertise without empathy is actually rude. And so if you go in and you're giving your 5 ideas to fix whatever, but you have no deep spoken empathy to all of the lack of respect, lack of communication, the lack of funds, the lack of time that people are up against, you're not going to reach them. Now, if you really want to take your empathy to the next level, the art to master is turning every one-way presentation into this dynamic back and forth conversation where you're not only empathizing with an audience beforehand, you're empathizing with them all the way along that you're with them. And the method that I use to do that when I walk into any room, I call the contribution method. Somewhere down below, thinking about you moving toward better, more empathetic presentations that also happen to cut your prep in half and double your impact, you can download this free field guide that I created. It's a really robust step-by-step process of how you would design a presentation to have maximum empathy so your expertise can actually reach people. I'm Chad Littlefield. I get the weird job of doing this for a living. Have an awesome day.